Good Wednesday morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Jonathan Marker with Empire Weather. Taking a look at the updated forecast across the Northeast on this Wednesday, December 11th. And boy, do we have a wet one. We have a very strong low pressure system that'll continue to become much more organized and track right along a frontal boundary, right over the Northeast and into northern New England as we go over the next 24 hours. And it's this strengthening of this storm system is what's going to allow the coverage of rain and intensity to increase as we go over the next 24 hours. Radar this morning does show the cold air is hanging on here for a little while longer across central and parts of northern New England this morning. We did see some reports here of up to 2/10 of some ice accumulation here as that wintry mix continues. But as we go throughout the afternoon, we'll see those temperatures rise, and that will allow that wintry mix to transition over to all rain. You do notice back off to the south and west, we do have an area of wet snow emerging here across the Ohio Valley, and that's with the advancement of much colder temperatures that will be coming in here on the backside of this system as we go later tonight and into the day on Thursday. So we'll time out the progression of this activity and potential impacts today. You can see as that cold air retreats, we'll see periods of moderate to heavy rain encompass much of the Northeast and New England as we go throughout the afternoon. So you can see this is valid through about 2 to 4 p.m. this afternoon, still continuing to rain steady and heavily in many locations here across New England, all the way down to the mid-Atlantic, eastern Pennsylvania. So look for a pretty good soaking rain event here with the potential for heavy rainfall amounts that could lead to some localized flooding concerns, especially across New England, as these waves of rain continue to what we call training, kind of track over the same areas like a train, and that's what leads to that flooding potential over the next 12 to 24 hours. As we take a look at the upper level dynamics of this system, we'll step back here as we go through the afternoon, and a couple features that I want to mention, as this is going to play an important role in not only the rainfall, but also the potential transition over to some wet snow as we go later tonight and into the day on Thursday. One is this area of vorticity. You see all this wind energy here across the southeastern United States, and also this deep Arctic low pressure system that's going to dive across the Great Lakes as we go throughout the day today. Watch how this southern system kind of pivots around this broader upper level low. And when that happens, we start to get this negatively tilted trough, which is basically a fancy term to say that this trough is oriented from northwest to southeast. When that happens, that's when we see a lot of upper level dynamics, lots of upward motion, and that's what allows this storm system to really strengthen later tonight and into the early part of the day on Thursday. So as we go through this evening, this is our area of low pressure that is now working through central to northern New England, and this is what's going to continue to strengthen as it makes its way towards Maine. And as it does so, it's going to help pull in that much colder temperatures on the backside of this system, allowing for a transition from rain over to some wet snow, from Binghamton all the way up through the Catskills. This is an area that has the greatest potential, even along the spine of the Green Mountains. Will have the potential for some rain changing over to some wet snow as this system pulls away. But for the most part, there's really not a whole lot of time for the cold air to kind of work with this moisture, as most of the moisture will be leaving as the cold air is arriving. But there will be some snow on the backside of this system as the precipitation comes to an end. And then here comes the Arctic air. It turns very cold as we go through the end of this week, and as a result, we'll get the return of lake effect snow bands off of Lake Ontario, Lake Erie. Even some moisture could stream into central and northern New England as we go through the day on Thursday, keeping chances for some flurries and some snow showers. A very active latter part of the week here with heavy rain transitioning over to some wet snow, followed by much colder temperatures as we go into this upcoming weekend. Here's some of the additional impacts of this system. You can see this is total precipitation. I'll get to the snowfall here in just a second, but you can see widespread area of additional rainfall of 2 to 3 inches is possible, especially across eastern New England, down towards Boston, Cape Cod, through Long Island, up through Maine. This seems to be the bullseye for the potential for additional heavy rainfall in excess of 2 inches. But either way, this is still quite an impactful event with this is still additional rain to come as we go throughout the day today, with amounts about 1 to 3 inches on average. From there, we'll take a look at the potential for snowfall. Again, there will be some snow on the backside of this system, but most of the moisture will be leaving as the cold air is arriving. But nonetheless, this will provide the potential for some light accumulation, especially across the Catskills down to Binghamton, even along the spine of the Green Mountains could see some light accumulation. Amounts about 1 to 2 inches are generally favored here, with the potential for a few inches. About 2 to 4 inches is possible here across the Catskills. And then as we go forward through the end of the day on Thursday, that's when when that lake effect snow machine really gets ramped up here. And that's where we could see amounts in excess of a foot along the snow belts as we go through the end of this week. So after soaking rain, we'll definitely transition over to a very wintry weather pattern for parts of the Northeast through the end of this week. The other impact that this storm system will have is very strong winds, and I do want to touch on this very quickly this morning. As that storm system strengthens, we'll see the winds increase, especially across central and southern New England as we go later today. Notice the winds here about 5,000 feet aloft, or about 40 to 50 knots, but watch what happens as we go throughout the evening hours. Those really ramp up here at about 80 to 85 knots as we go throughout the evening. So this could really help to transfer the momentum down to the surface. That's what could lead to some very strong and potentially some damaging wind gusts as we go throughout the day today. Peak wind gusts throughout the day today. You can really see those gusts really ramp up as we go throughout the evening hours, potentially in excess of 60 to 65 miles per hour. It's very possible, especially across southern New England, Boston, Cape Cod, all the way down to Long Island. So just be aware of that as we progress forward through the afternoon and into the evening hours. Real quickly, we'll wrap up today's video taking a look at the temperature pattern going forward through the latter half of December. And you can see that Arctic air spreading in here through the end of this week into the upcoming weekend. While this will be intense, this will not be long lasting, as we are going to see a warmer pattern begin to develop here late Sunday and specifically into early next week. Temperatures doing a complete 180 with temperature anomalies about 8 to 10 degrees above normal through the middle part of next week. As we go forward over the next 10 to 15 days, there is some increased volatility with additional cool shots, but certainly not to the intensity of the cold that we have seen as of late, with a lean near to slightly below average as we go leading up to the Christmas holiday. So with that, that's all I got for this morning. We break down all this and much more information as we go throughout this week, as well as our weather pattern as we head into the new year. Have a great Wednesday, guys. Thanks for watching.